Hello, all, and welcome to the Matt Powers Show. I am your titular host, Matt Powers. I am an elder millennial, 30-something-year-old cartoon character, former superhero, now podcaster, and I want to introduce you to our brand new format for the show. We're calling this the Matt Powers Show podcast, which is original, right? No, this is how we. So, if you've been following my channel at all for a while, what I had been doing was reacting to things that were coming out. So, trailers, big stories, movie reviews, and so forth. I just kind of just started. I really just started. I'd only been doing it for a couple months. And very quickly I began to realize two things about it. First off, it's kind of boring just reacting to things. It's kind of boring, saying, "Oh, this trailer just dropped. This is so cool. Ah, it's great. I can't wait to see this." I feel that way. I talk about that with my friends all the time, but it wasn't authentic, right? I felt like, what am I doing? I'm not having a dialogue about anything important. I'm not actually talking about a subject that's interesting. I'm just commenting on stuff I see online, and like, there's enough commentation. I'm making up words here, folks. There's enough commentary out there. There's enough people just commenting on the world, and maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe adding another voice of commentary is just cluttering up the internet with sound waves that don't need to be there. That was the first step. The other thing I was thinking was, we're not really getting to the heart of some of this stuff in what I'm doing. Now, look, it's all made up, right? I'm inventing how this format works. Could I have just started talking about things I wanted to talk about? Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I've just decided that there's a better format for it, a podcast format. So really what we're gonna be doing going forward, Matt Powers here as a cartoon character, I'm just gonna talk to you guys. I'm gonna have a conversation on the internet. And maybe this is also cluttering up the internet with audio that doesn't need to be there, but whatever, who cares? It's free space. I want to talk about things. I want to talk about other things when it comes to movies, TV, video games, comic books, sports and music if we ever get to it. I want to have an episode where I can just talk about Doctor Who. I want to have an episode where I can talk about, a book I read that I thought was really good. I want an episode where I can talk about why I don't buy monthly comic books anymore, but instead buy trades. I want to just be able to talk about a subject, and maybe it tangentially relates to something that happened that week, and hopefully it will. Hopefully something will happen, and I'll go, "Ooh, that's a really good idea. I want to talk about that." I am not an expert in anything. I'm really not. I'm if anything, I'm an expert on not being an expert. But I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I've been so my whole life. I have experienced more than my fair share of fandoms. I have stories of meeting celebrities and going to conventions. I have paid my dues with certain fandoms themselves when it comes to taking a beating for things you love, even. I have lived a life rich and full of entertainment. I am a man-child if ever there was one. So I feel like I am uniquely qualified, as everyone else in the world might be, uniquely, to just have a conversation. And that's what we're going to do. The new format going forward is going to be this. It's just going to be me talking to you, and hopefully someone out there is listening and engages with me, leaving comments. Respectful comments. If you do, all of entertainment is subjective, right? We can have completely opposing views on something and both be right. It's all personal opinion. There is no objective truth when it comes to opinion. So be respectful, but I hope people will leave comments. This is just a video. I just wanted to tell you guys what the new format's going to be. This is sort of an episode 0. All right. Maybe we'll pin this as the new trailer. The other thing I wanted to tell you about are the current projects I'm working on, and we're going to talk. Those will be episodes 2, right, where I update you on what I'm working on. So the big thing that I'm doing right now is I'm working on a new form of thing, okay, called an interactive comic. Now it's going to be a blending of many different things. I'm using things. I'm being a little vague because we're going to say what they're here. In part, it is a visual novel. We're using RenPy as sort of the back end. We're doing Python programming for it. It will be like a choose-your-own-adventure in that there will be multiple paths to take, but taking from the old point-and-click adventure games, specifically Sierra games, there'll be a lot of death states, a lot of choices you can make which kill off the character. It is not a video game. I do not consider it a video game. There are no scores kept. There's no winning and losing. It is an experience meant to be read, meant to be experienced. You get to have input into what is happening, but there is one story being told. Will there be multiple endings? Of course, because there's going to be death states. And will there be multiple endings where you don't die? But probably differences and endings. There will be reasons to go back and read it again. There'll be reasons to experience it more than once. There are also going to be big stories, movie-length stories. They're not going to be small, self-contained, you can read it in 20 minutes and be done. These are things that should take you hours to get through. You might find yourself reading it, experiencing it, and then saving it and coming back to it, right? They're meant to be bigger projects. And I kind of, right now, the goal is that I'd put 1 or 2 out a year. 1 or 2 a year. I'm doing all the work for it. I'm writing it. I'm drawing it. I'm animating it. I'm creating the cutscenes for it. I'll be doing most of the voice acting for it. I'll be hiring the musicians to do music for it. That'll be me too. And I'll be certainly programming it and coding it. And when it's available, it'll be. We are going to put a demo when I have the demo available up on Steam that people can download and play. It'll be free, and then when it's available, it'll be available on Steam to buy. I have no idea how much. Right now, in my mind, I'm like, it'll be like $15, maybe $12.99. I don't know, something like that. It won't be expensive. It'll be cheap, but it'll be something you'll enjoy, and you want to collect it too, because it'll be an ongoing series. It is based on an old comic idea of mine called The Wasteland Deliveries, about a post-apocalyptic future where the 12 Shogun of Power have conquered the Earth, and certain areas have been laid waste into a wasteland, and it's about a delivery service called UPX, based out of the only free city left on the planet, Central City. And our particular hero, our main character, Dave Toriyama, who is a young delivery boy, just kind of experiencing and enjoying the wasteland, but also coming up against such adversaries as, the Shogun themselves. They have an army that control most of the world, going up against raiders and gangs out in the wasteland. There's ninjas, there's yetis, there's creatures of all manner and shape and sort. There are villains, certainly, and there's lots of drama to it, and a lot of deep plot to it. It's a big story. When I sort of originally wrote it, the very beginning idea was it was going to be like a 1,000-page graphic novel, and then eventually it turned into like a 300-issue comic series. I outlined the whole thing. It's a very long story, a lot of story to tell. I am condensing a lot because I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So it might be, maybe it'll be 10 or 12 of these interactive comics will tell the whole story. But it is a big story, a lot to tell. And so I'm very excited about this. This is something I'm really diving into. I'm spending a lot of time working on. It's gonna take me a year or so to even really get to a place where I can say I'm making great headway on it. But I'm hoping over the next 3, 4, 5 months, as I get writing done, as I get art done, I'll be able to talk about that. I'll be able to show that online, and then eventually have a demo early next year that people can download and play and kind of see it. So that's the big project that I'm working on. So other side projects that I'm doing, little things. I am practicing some of the skills needed for this interactive comic by creating these cutscenes, which are basically going to be video comics, akin to motion comics, but not exactly. Trust me when I say it's a little different than anything you've seen before. It's not like mind-breaking. It's not going to be something, this is how everything should be done, but it'll be something fun and interesting, and there'll be a series of very short stories that I'll put online that people can watch that kind of illustrate what it is. So, and those will be more fun stuff. That'll be maybe tales of my youth when I was a superhero, the adventures of the inedible Batman. So we'll see. We'll see what we put out. Those are the projects that I'm working on, and of course I want to keep doing this. I want to do this. This is our episode 0. This is just an introduction to tell you we're changing formats, we're doing something new. And I hope you come along for the ride. I hope you listen to this every week, or however often I put it out. For now, it will be on YouTube, but soon we're going to put it on everything. I've got a Podbean account. I can open up a new slot for a podcast. So eventually you'll be able to listen to this on Spotify and Alexa and Google Play and iHeartRadio and wherever podcasts can be listened to. So it'll be on everything. So, listen, I really appreciate you coming by and listening. This is what it's going to be. It's just going to be a conversation. I appreciate you listening. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Or if you have any comments, leave them in the comments below. Again, please be respectful, but you can be critical. Just be nice to them. Don't be rude. If you'd rather send me an email, something a little more long form, to start a dialogue about something, or if you have suggestions for things to talk about, send it to davidkampproductions@gmail.com. I'll put the link in the description below. Occasionally we might do fun stuff like movie reviews. We might do some interviews with fictional characters. That'll be fun. But and we might even have guests on every now and then. But for the most part, it's just going to be me having a dialogue, me having a conversation with the internet. And whoever wants to listen can and wants to respond to that as well. Thank you guys for coming by. I really appreciate you for listening to this. It's a podcast, so of course I'm going to say the stupid thing that nobody likes to hear, but I gotta say it anyway. I'm pretty sure it's in the contract when you set up a YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell button to get notifications. No, but seriously, if you like what you heard, like it, man. Let me know. And subscribe. Come back. Listen to these conversations. I promise you there will be interesting information. I promise you we're going to have discussions about stuff that you're going to like. Or hate, but at least want to talk about it. Okay, well, that's all. Thanks for coming by, and this is Matt Powers saying, Powers out.
Vortex.